Hello, hello, hello. This is Adrian, Capricorn Tigress of Astrology, a look inside. And although the new moon in Cancer has already passed, I'm sorry. I tried to do a live last night, exactly on the new moon in Cancer, and I just couldn't. I was dressed and ready, and I sat down to record, and I had no energy. And now, as you see, I'm being interrupted. They just keep calling. Now, this is Comcast, but we already have an agreement with them to pay them at the end of the month, and it's only the 26th. So I've been getting calls like that. That's not even my job. That's something my daughter does. So it's been weird. But yesterday, I'm a double Capricorn, and the new moon was in Cancer. It was opposing my ascendant, opposing my sun, and I felt it. There's something going on my phone right now. There's just a lot of beeping. I don't know if that's an abduction or what's going on my phone. But I'll check that. Hopefully it's nothing major. Anyway, I wanted to do something because I missed everything when it comes to the new moon in Cancer. I'm looking at myself. I'm not on Zoom because I unplugged everything so I could record this, because when I don't, it just records wonky. So I'm just recording this for my posterity, I guess. But I wanted to do these readings for the signs because I wanted to do something to last you between now and when the moon is full in Capricorn, because that's going to be coming up in 2 weeks. So, 13 days now. So, I figure we go ahead and talk about what's going on. I'm doing this, off the cuff. There's no AI involved in this. So I hope I'm not penalized, because I heard that YouTube actually likes AI content, and that, you have to go into full research now in order to get ranked. I don't know. I have had a very difficult time getting my videos seen on YouTube. I've had people contact me and say it's your SEO, and I'm thinking, what are you talking about? I'm using, the right tags and keywords, so I don't quite understand what they're saying. But I figure it could just be because I'm an older woman and I'm talking about astrology, and I'm not sure if it's that popular. I don't know what people want. I'm just going to do what I know that I can do and provide what I know I can provide. And one of the things I can do is tell you about what's going on with the planets. I'm only going to be dealing with the moon because I don't have my computer on. There is something going on my... Hold on, you guys. Hold on. Okay, y'all, I'm back. I actually had to stop for a moment because my phone was beeping so badly I could not concentrate on what I wanted to say. And turned out it was my phone. It was a child abduction notification. Someone named Yang, I guess a child that was taken in Mount Lake Terrace here in Washington. So I hope they find the child. But I had to just stop. Now, as I was coming back, I was also moved to pick up an old deck. I haven't used this deck in so long, it literally has dust on it. But I'm going to do some romance angels. I'll just do that for whatever message I get for each sign, and then I'll pull a card or two or whatever as a clarifier, just so I can give you guys something. I feel bad. I mean, it's the end of June, almost July, but it's that time of the year where my energy is weird. It gets wonky, and my daughter was sick and in the hospital, and it's been a weird week, when you have a hard time. So it was a hard time. We almost lost the website because I just didn't have the money. It takes a minimum of, I would say, $150 a month to keep just Astrology, a look inside going. And if I'm not bringing in at least that, then I have to look at how I do anything else, because I have to survive beyond what's going on. And I will say this: if you support what I do with Astrology, a look inside, if you like the videos that I create with and for Astrology, a look inside, then support us. There's several ways you can support us. I think I've got a donation link in the links in some of the videos. You can go find that if you don't see it. Also, there's all types of things on the website. So there's digital products like ebooks and videos and mantras and readings and reports and soaps, and there's just so much stuff there. So there's so many ways you can support us. But if you don't want to leave, say, YouTube, well, support us on YouTube. You can do that. I think there's a membership, if I'm not mistaken. So if you see the link to join our membership, join our membership. I will start putting more things in membership. I just want you guys to know, in the background, I'm got all kind of little B-rolls I'm going to be putting into the membership that no one else will see. Also, there's super chat. So when I'm live, make sure you stop by and do a super chat, or something like that with me. I don't really push that a lot, because I remember back in the day doing live readings was the big thing, but it's not so much anymore. And so I don't see a lot of super chats, but I'm always open to them. So if you see me and I'm live, feel free to stop by and ask for a super chat or a reading or anything like that. I think on the website itself at astrologyaLookInside.com, there is, if you scroll to the bottom of the page, on the first page, just scroll to the bottom of the page and there's a donation button there. You can click on it and it'll take you right to the donation page. So I just wanted to throw that out there, and I'm always putting some kind of special or freebie or offer on each of the videos, so you can check and see what kind of special there is, because I want to give you guys multiple ways to support what I do and Astrology, a look inside, because I want to keep doing what I love. Astrology, a look inside. I created Astrology, a look inside in 1997. And when I first did it, we were on MSN groups. I don't know if anyone's old enough to remember MSN groups in the late 90s, but we were one of the top astrology groups there. We were like 10,000 of us. And I remember how great that felt to have that many people really every day. It was just always something, always doing readings and new people learning about astrology. I feel like over the course of the last, let's say 5 years since COVID, I've seen a lot of not that great readers, astrologers. People just pop up, let me give you a reading, and they'll tell you anything. It's gotten really bad. And I think it's really messed with the way some people think about astrologers or tarot readers or anything like that. If you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I used to do a lot of tarot readings, and I pulled away from that. I just felt like they're all saying the same things, and some people create their own decks, and so they're very creative, but for the most part, I'm going to follow the stars, because God put the stars up there. And not to get religious on y'all, but I'm a God-fearing woman, and I read the Bible. I pray. Y'all can think whatever you want about me, but people thought that about Elijah too. I'm not saying I'm a prophet. I'm just saying I'm somebody who knows that the only person who could have made those galaxies is God, if you believe in a God. Those galaxies are not out there by perchance, if you will. I hope I'm making sense. We just got back gorgeous photos from, what was her name? Rose somebody. Anyway, this lady they took pictures of galaxies. And they've been floating all over Facebook and the internet, these photos of these galaxies. I'll share that I'll post it somewhere, wherever. If this is Facebook, it'll be Facebook. If it's YouTube, it's YouTube. But it puts it in perspective, like how small we are. That how we have a role, we have a spot in this universe, right? This universe is made up of more than just us. We are one tiny speck of dust in this universe. We're like a cog in a wheel. The wheel is going to go regardless. This is why I believe in the planet. It's a system. The system is already in place. We're just the little things on one of the little things inside of the system. The motion, the flow of the system is already in place. It flows in such a way that all the galaxies, all the planets, trillions, innumerable cajillions of planets. It's insane. But all work in tandem with each other. It's a flow. As many say, it's energy. It's an energy. And we're all part of it in some way or another. We're just not aware of either our role in it, if any, if we're just flowing in it, if you feel like you flow in it, or if you're resisting it, if you go against the flow, if you feel like you go against the flow. Some people get off on that. It's just the whole thing. But the first thing you got to do is understand that we're energy. We're part of an energy field of some kind. That's why I heard also someone had wrote that they believe we are inside of a black hole. Yeah, that we're inside of a black hole. That we somehow, our galaxy, our world, had gotten sucked into a black hole. And they went on to explain their reasoning for believing it, which anyway, these are the things we're going to be looking at over the next few years. I'm concerned about Uranus going into Gemini, which it's about to do on the 7th of July. So probably by the time you see this, if you watch this, it'll probably be in Gemini or on its way there. I feel like we're going to see a lot of changes when Uranus goes into Gemini. It's 7 years. In the past, it's the 7 years between 1942 and 1949. Those were very serious years. 1942 to 1946 basically was the war. I mean, So I am very concerned about this Uranus in Gemini and what it seems to do in history, because when you look back 84 years prior to that, it was the Civil War. There's something going on with the Uranus in Gemini. I've got a video that kind of talks about it a little bit. I might come back and talk about the subject a little bit more. But let's go ahead and because I could go on about the planets forever, because there's so much going on with the planets. As you know, Jupiter went into Cancer already. And I feel like I've cried almost every day that Jupiter's been in Cancer. So if I look like I've been crying, every day, because my daughter was in the hospital. And of course, Cancer rolling the mother. And we just had the new moon in Cancer. As a mother, I just been devastated. I'm a double Capricorn, the opposite of Cancer. It was frightening. I thought I was going to lose my only child this past week. I've never been so frightened in my life. I just also realized, I wrote on Facebook that I realized if anything happened to my daughter, I would probably die of a heart attack the same day. Just like Debbie Reynolds did with Carrie Fisher. I always joke about it, but I believe it to be true. I've got my moon in the 4th house. I live for my daughter. I literally followed her to college. I live for my daughter. She lives a mile down the street. When she was little, she's like, Mommy, I'll carry you around like a suitcase. And I am down the street from her and her husband right now. Hilarious, right? It's my baby. I love her. Absolutely adore her. Beyond words, right? That's my heart and soul. Sometimes, everybody has a reason for living, and I guess my moon was to be her mother, and I'm aware of it. When she was a baby, I had developed postpartum depression really bad. Tried to kill myself because her father was a POS, and I ended up becoming a single mother, like many women did at that time. And it was hard. I mean, I was lucky. I had a good job. But I remember I was working at a newspaper at that time. I think I was working at the Anchorage Daily Times, if I'm not mistaken. And I just remember getting on a bus, going home. I stopped off to get a couple of 40 ounces. I grabbed a bottle of pills, and I just started taking them. And I remember somewhere in the middle, I had called my mother because I love my mom. Oh, I had the best Leo mom you could ever have. Just total Leo. Loved her. And I got my Mars in Leo, so we fought all the time. But I love my mom so much. But I had to call my mom. I had to let her know. I don't know. Just tell her I loved her. To thank her. You gotta thank your mom. And when I was talking to her, I don't know what I was saying. And I'm trying to remember what I did with the baby. I don't know if she had the baby. I'm trying to remember what I did with the baby. She might have had the baby at the moment, because I don't know if I picked the baby up after I came home from work or not. I'm just trying to remember. I hope I wasn't going to kill myself with the baby in the house. I don't think I was. I think the baby was either with her, and she was I had called her to say something about the baby. Maybe to keep the baby, and I forget what it was. Whatever it is, I said to my mother. She told me, honey, hold on. And the next thing I knew, the police were at my door with the paramedics. Whatever I said, she knew. She was like, oh, she's done. Like, that's it. She's going to take her life. She knew it. And I didn't know what I said. I still to this day don't know. It might have just been a mother's intuition. Isn't that a moment? That's one of my mom was very psychic. Very, very psychic. When it came to me and my daughter, oh. It's like she felt us. I'll just say this, because that's one time she saved my life. But another time, we lived in Sepulveda. Okay, it was right a couple of cities off from Northridge. And the apartment that we lived in Sepulveda, it collapsed. But I will say this. I was in my living room, and my mother called me, because this was like 2 months before a lot of people don't remember this little earthquake. It was like in April, and I think Northridge was in June. If I'm not mistaken, I got those months right, if I'm not mistaken. But it's sitting and watching TV with my daughter, and Christiana was watching, I remember, Land Before Time, because, well, I'll tell you in a minute how I remember that. So my mom calls me out of the blue and goes, baby, did you feel that earthquake? And I was like, what earthquake? And at that moment, I felt the earthquake. Now, this wasn't the Northridge. I'm telling you, it was like 2 months before the big one. But it scared my mom so bad, and me, because the baby started running around screaming, earth shake, earth shake. I don't know if you ever watched Land Before Time, but that's what they called it in that. And she was screaming, earth shake, earth shake. And that was, my mom was like, that's it. Her and my aunt decided, they wired me the money that very night. I swear to God. I sold off my ish the next day. Because I went Mormon. I went to church. We just put all my stuff out, and it was gone. Like, they got me to the airport within 2 days. I swear it happened like on a Friday. By Sunday, I was gone. That's how serious my mother was about me getting out of California when she got that intuition. And sure enough, a few months later, Northridge happened, and the building collapsed. I would have died. So, I'm just saying, in honor of mothers, in honor of the new moon in Cancer, in honor of my mother, in honor of that, I wanted to come and do something today for this new moon in Cancer, because I'm telling you this, there is a connection between mothers, okay? I felt that let me tell you my own story. And then I haven't even got to the reading. I'm already 20 minutes in. Oh my God. But look, the other day, I'm telling you, I almost lost my daughter. I felt it. I couldn't go through my day. There was something I couldn't, you guys, I can't put it into words. This is why I know, like, if anything happens to my daughter, I'm going to do a Debbie Reynolds. I can feel it. I can feel that. Like, I can't, no. Okay. So, I couldn't go a second longer. Like, it was killing me. So I had to call her. So I was like, Christiana, call your mom. I don't know what it is. I can't shake it. I know something's wrong. Please call me. I'm so worried. I'm shaking. Please call your mom. So about 15 minutes passed, and the phone rings, and it's my daughter, and she's in the hospital, and it's bad. My daughter has a growth in her lung. They got her on steroids. They've had her on it for months, and they're worried about the amount of steroids. And but they want to put her on radiation, and she's fighting that. And I'm like, oh God, no. But they, because of all the medications she's been on, because they had her on like 14. She had RSV, COVID, I forget what else, my baby. But her kidneys and liver have been affected. And the blood work came back abnormal. So that, plus she had fallen. She is a performer, and went out and did some work. She tried, but had hurt herself. And the bruise on her butt is this big, like horrifying. So they also said she has a zebra disease. So basically, they don't really know how to heal her. There's nothing worse than hearing that your child has some kind of zebra disease that they don't know how to really heal. Like, we're going to experiment with this, and then we're going to experiment with that, and then we're going to... And there was this fear the other day that she had what they call an interception. What that is, as if all these other things aren't enough, right? And what that is the stomach gets in a knot that ties up the... Apparently, when she had her gastric bypass, like 10 years ago, that they didn't tuck her little entrails in there right, because right after, they almost had to do, like a year after, something for interception, but when they opened her up, it had righted itself, and they didn't need to do anything major. But here we are, and they're still suspecting that it could happen again. And the fear as a mother that I feel, and I'm sure the fear my daughter feels. Now, I will tell you, as an astrologer, when I saw that she was dealing with Mars in Virgo, where it is right now, sitting exactly square her natal Saturn at 3 degrees of Sagittarius. And when I saw that, I screamed. And I began to cry. Because no mother wants to see those two malefic planets fighting each other when your daughter Saturn is sitting in the house of hell. And the fear and the reality that I could have lost her. But then I saw something and I started to cry because only a miracle could have made this happen. But at that moment, while my daughter was sitting in that hospital, fighting Mars, sitting on her sun, moon, and Mercury, in the 5th house of life, basically, right, where the sun lives, because that's where her sun is. Saturn already naturally squares it, so she's been unhealthy her whole life, because Saturn sits in the 6th house of health. So the fear was palpable, but at that moment I saw something and I couldn't believe it. That moment, the sun in Cancer was exactly at 3 degrees. Exactly inside of her first house of the body. Exactly sitting on fucking Jupiter. The luckiest aspect of all aspects for the physical body. I wish I could say I was making it up, but I'm not. And I knew, I got a feeling of peace at that moment. I was like, oh, she's got this. Because, first of all, Jupiter only goes through a sign every 12 years. It's not like an aspect you can count on to happen, okay? But it only goes through her, because her first house is so small. She's got like 5 degrees of Gemini and like 6 or 7 degrees of Cancer. The smallest first house. She's totally giving. One. Saturn in Sagittarius. She's just always fighting for the underdog. Gives everything. Gives. Anyway, little tiny first house. Tiny first house. So the likelihood of that conjunction happening at that degree, because we're talking about 3 degrees. It's a malefic degree anyway. But a couple of things happened. First of all, it was in her first house, so Jupiter sat on the sun, transiting sun in the first house, going, I shall uplift you, I shall make you golden, you shall heal. And it made it in conjunct with Saturn at 3 degrees of Sagittarius in the 6th house, nullifying it, going, screw you, you have no power, I will nullify you, so you may fight with Mars. Mars was sitting on her sun, moon, and Mercury, which are all conjunct because she has a giant Cassini at birth, all within a degree. It's craziest Cassini ever saw, anything. Anyway, it nullified Saturn. And it gave her the energy and the wherewithal and, of course, the incredible health to get out of that hospital and come home. And the next day, I believe, was working on another number for another show. I kid you not. But at the moment they were carrying her away in the paramedics was when I was calling her. And she told me later when she called me at the hospital, she's like, Mommy, you called exactly at the moment the paramedics got there. So mommies feel stuff like that. And depending on how this new moon in Cancer affected you, if you're a mother, did it affect you? Like as a mother, did you have one of those experiences. I saw that one of my high school friends lost her husband, and she's just been like posting pictures of their marriage and saying his name. So just saying his name. That's it. Tears. Okay? Tears. Because it looks like they've been married for like 30, 40 years, right? Because I'm in my 60s, so, you know, I don't know how long they've been married, maybe 30, 40 years. So that's heartbreaking. And I just feel like this, I think Jupiter in Cancer, along with the new moon in Cancer, is going to put many people in their feels, in the feelings, for many reasons. Many reasons. But family. It's all about the family. Love your family. Cherish your family. Every moment you get to spend with a family member is a blessing and a gift. I've got a brother I haven't seen for like 15 years, but I love him. Love him. And would welcome him in my home if he stopped by, because that's my brother. Family. That's what this whole thing is about. Now, I'm going to do something because I realize I run my mouth so much about my own family. And of course, with the planets and whatever, you know, that I really have not gotten to the actual readings. So I'm going to do that separately because I'm already 32 minutes in and editing is going to be a killer if I don't separate these. So I'm going to come back. And when I do, we're going to start with the sign of Cancer. And everything I've been talking about really is a prime example of Cancer. Family, children, husband, wife, mother, father, home, family. Okay, your comfort, your needs, nurturing, what makes you feel safe, what makes you feel loved, what makes you feel cared for, how you care for others, how others care for you, how you give to others. Who do you care for? Who do you love? Where do you put your caring and your nurturing love, right? Who is your end quote family? Sometimes it's not the birth family, it's the family you've created. So even that. But think about that now. And I'll be back shortly. And when I come back, we'll do the readings for the astrology signs. And we'll start with the sign of Cancer, okay? Much love, much light, many blessings. This has been Adrienne, Capricorn Tigress of astrologyalookinside.com. And thank you for your love and your support. Please make sure you take a moment to like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, especially if you've gotten this far in the video. And share the video if you're so inclined to do so. Okay. Much love to you all.